We are live. What's happening? Good if it goes universe. Good if it goes world. I'm here with my boys. We got Shane on audio today. Shane, what up, bro?
What's good?
P Jack in the house. What's happening?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was good.
DJ in the building. All right, man. So, man, exciting week. College football. We got week 1 in the books. Prentice, I'm going straight to you, dog. Talk to me. I see you got your Florida State on. We'll get to them in a little bit, though. If we even want to get to them. But tell me what you liked in week 1, bro.
Man, I liked a lot of shit. I liked Clemson, Georgia. I liked my Knowles versus Notre Dame. I liked what I saw. I liked what I saw from the young Bucks at quarterback. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud in the second half versus Minnesota. You got to see some dog shine this weekend, I think, and that's what I liked. Like I said, I got to see some of the young bulls come out and perform in week 1 and show you that they ready to put their stamp on college football.
You had a hot take in the chat. You want to talk about that a little bit?
I do, and I want Shane to chime in because we kind of go back and forth on this, and it's. If you go back and you watch what you saw the entire weekend, you see Notre Dame's ranked in the top 10. They're not serious. They don't have a defense. You saw Clemson. Clemson don't have an offensive line, and even their defense still at times look like they struggle. But you saw two teams who really stood out this weekend was Georgia and Alabama. And I think part of the reason why they stood out was when you saw some serious dogs on the defensive side of the football. And I think from an Alabama standpoint, the debate me and Shane had was I don't think Oklahoma is a serious title contender because I think they lack dogs on the defensive end. You know, when you play a team week 1, that's a confidence builder. You know, that's I'm sure Oklahoma paid Tulane $500,000 for that matchup. That ain't somebody you come in and you almost lose to. I mean, literally it's 4th and 9 and that quarterback get tackled at the 8. You know, he a yard short, but they had all the momentum and they was going, it looked like they were going to win that game. And it just, I know they're going to score points and they're going to look, it takes offense, you know, time to gel, continuity, you know, they build, but, you know, a defense, you know, cover 3 is cover 3 across the board. Oklahoma run cover 3 the same as Alabama run cover 3. And it just, for them to come out and just give up 35 points. And I know that in the second half they took they foot off their neck a little bit, but you don't put yourself in a position where you almost lose in a game where you afforded a team a check. You gave them a check to come play you. It's a confidence builder game and you almost lost. And I think it's, like I said, it just goes back to, I don't think they have 2 or 3 guys on a defensive side, especially up front. They don't have a guy that can just take over a game and go, you know, give the other team fits. Like it's outscore every week. And you're going to have them hiccups where, you know, maybe Rattler don't play up to par. You run up against a Texas or a Kansas State, you're going to fuck around, they're going to lose.
Jack, and to your point, before Shane go, I just seen a stat that said Georgia has 3 less 5-star recruits than the Big 12 and the Pac-12 combined, and so like that plays a big role, a big part. One of the biggest recruiting areas is the Atlanta Metro District, whatever that is. And so like Georgia and Bama getting all those guys, and then they can get other guys, and then that's what it show up as. And if you're not able to build your offensive line or your defensive line not like super dominant, like you see what you're seeing around the college game right now. And Georgia, you know, is able to get guys, they just ain't able to close the deal. Because I feel like talent-wise, they're able to get the same type of guys as Bama, but for whatever reason, they always missing a piece here, a piece there, and then you see what happens.
Yeah, that's a good point. I ain't really know that about that stat about Georgia. That's wild. So,
I just saw, yeah.
Shane, your thoughts?
Well, first of all, to touch on the, what was the most anticipated game of the weekend, Georgia Clemson. And look, and I'm going to preface this by saying I am not about to sit here and overreact to a bunch of shit in week one. That's always kind of my thing. Period. NFL, college, whatever. Like, there's always going to be big overreactions. But I will say that defensive performance by Georgia, like that did not strike me as, this is game one. Trevor Lawrence isn't here anymore. They kind of just caught Clemson at the right time. Like that was no. Georgia's defense is really this good. And I think like they just put the whole country on notice. I'm not sold on Daniels, but I'm also not sure how good he has to be. You know what I mean? Like, I just think he needs to kind of be good enough for that team to at least get to the playoff. Like, I think like that, I can't sit here and think like they're going to lose any conference games. I know it's not easy to just run through the SEC, but I don't see them like potentially losing a game now until they play Alabama. But even we talked about this last week. Now a one-loss Georgia, but this win on their resume, like you can pretty much pencil them into the playoffs no matter what happens against Alabama. So that to me, that was the most impressive thing that I saw all weekend. That was just dominant from start to finish. And I predicted the pick six in the group chat, by the way, minutes before it happened. Like you could see that coming. I mean, they
definitely did.
Yep, you definitely saw that coming.
That kid had no chance. Like he was a deer in headlights, man. But to get to the Oklahoma point, and while I did rip you a little bit in the chat by saying how you're overreacting to half this, that, and the other. Look, you didn't say anything that was wrong. Like everything you said about that game, and it's not like this is a new take from you, because this is what you said. This is what you've kind of said. On our shows leading up to this, playing like devil's advocate a bit, because I know me and Mike have been both high on Oklahoma. Right. And I mean, I am not predicting that Oklahoma is going to be some stalwart defensively where they're just going to start, dominating teams that way. But I don't think that was who they are. I don't think that game was, what I see happening from a Big 12 schedule. Because we know in the Big 12, all those games are high scoring anyway. You defense is almost optional in that conference. I'm not saying like, I never thought Oklahoma was going to be like a Georgia type defense where they're going to shut teams down and win games that way. They're going to outscore you and they're going to out scheme you. And like, I'm not, I need to see more before I'm really like, oh man, like this team has no chance unless they're winning 51-49 in a crazy game like that. So like I said, I need to see more. I mean, if you look at Iowa State, their biggest competition in the Big 12, right? We agree on that. They didn't look so hot either. So, no. I mean, I have no reason to believe that nothing has changed in my mind about how Oklahoma is going to roll through the conference and get to the playoff undefeated. Now, I'm not going to lie. Like it was a bit concerning to watch it. Like, I kept thinking to myself, like, man, if they lose this game, and all those tickets I got on them, and, it's just out the window. But, we'll see. We'll see.
I respect that take.
Yeah, me too. And I feel like, it's nothing to overreact to.
Week one overreactions are the worst in the NFL, but like college, they're there too. And like, I think one thing we got to remember too is, man, the home field advantage is back. So, and I'm obviously that didn't affect the Oklahoma Tulane game. I just mean in general, like, you're going to see things like Prentice called it, man. I didn't see the North Carolina upset happening, but then like when you realize that, man, we're in Blacksburg Friday night, Enter Sandman, that insane atmosphere, that's going to make a difference in a lot of these games this year. And I wonder how it's going to translate to the NFL. because, we know college kids are going to get rattled a lot more than a pro. And that just didn't happen last year. So like that's a real interesting thing to watch going forward, because like North Carolina, their season's effectively over after that one game.
Yep.
Yeah, but they lost both of their running backs, both of their wideouts as well. So like the talent wasn't there as well. And then if Howell is supposed to be this guy that they saying that he is, they expected for him to overcome, all of those things. But I don't think he had the rhythm. I don't think he had the chemistry with those guys. Because if you losing all these guys to the league and then you going into that environment as well, that's a tough task. Because if they would have had those same guys, then boom, you got two running backs that you can run the ball. You run the ball, you take the crowd out of it, and then you get to play your game. Then you got guys on the outside that can catch, et cetera, et cetera. But then they didn't have like none of that. So all these skill position guys of note is all new. You got this dude that's a quarterback that's on that's on the Heisman list, and it just didn't make for a good game plan. Just the ACC in general, you got your top 5, 6 teams all losing, and that conference overall don't look like good right now. And then they was talking about like, well, strength of schedule, this, that, and the third, and you got Clemson, who might not play another top 40 team for the rest of the year. And then it was like, well, even if Georgia loses to Bama in the SEC championship, they're gonna get right in it. Like so then you're gonna have one of these other teams. I think so. Like if Georgia is undefeated and Bama is undefeated and Georgia loses to Bama in the SEC championship, I feel like Georgia is going to get in, because let's say Clemson is sitting there, they got the head-to-head matchup where they beat them. So you can't put Clemson over Georgia. So I think that they'll be able to get in even with that one loss. And then it's just going to be whoever else is around. I hope it's not Notre Dame, because who wants to see that? I hope it's like one of those other schools that don't really necessarily get that shine, because I mean, if they're gonna get blew out, at least they can say that they was in the playoffs versus Notre Dame just getting it because of their name, and they haven't done nothing in like 25, 30 years. So
yeah, I want to touch back on DJ point. The thing, like you talk about North Carolina, I think the biggest problem that they have in NCAA football is they are so thirsty to want to drop a top 10. Remember, we had that podcast, and I said I really didn't want to talk about a top 10 because it's so early in the season, and you rank a team, North Carolina, you rank them in the top 15, and they go out and they lay a dud, and then it's like, they shouldn't have been ranked in the top 25 to begin with. I mean, you look at Clemson, you put Clemson in the top 4. I mean, Clemson looked bad. I mean, I know Georgia defense played lights out, but they have no offensive line. They have no playmakers at running back. They have no playmakers at wide receiver. And the next schedule, I said it on their schedule last week. I mean, there's no way if they lost that they were getting to the playoffs, because that North Carolina loss, which essentially if they play out, you play them in the conference championship game. Now you got a ranked opponent that can help you at the end of the year. They don't play.
But the only thing I could see, right, is let's say, and I'm not predicting this, but I'm just saying, if Georgia loses a conference, if Georgia ends the season with 2 losses and Clemson runs the table from here on out, even though they have them in the head-to-head, you can have the argument of 2 loss versus 1 loss. I mean, it's just going to be like, if we assume Ohio State runs the Big Ten, right? And then Oklahoma runs the Big 12, like they're going to get in. So, and Alabama's going to get in. So we very well could come down to Georgia and Clemson for that last spot.
To be honest, I think their biggest problem is going to be Cincinnati, because if Cincinnati go run the table and
that's what I'm thinking,
and they beat Notre Dame, I think they get in this year.
Yeah, because I think they're gonna take their spot. They're gonna take Notre Dame's spot that Notre Dame always seems to get, and so that'll just be really unfortunate, because the ACC is looking like it don't really have nobody there. Like your top 6 teams lose, bro. That shouldn't happen. And so y'all as a conference, they gotta figure something out. But Georgia offense only scored three points. So I mean,
It's true too.
that's like
Yeah,
I feel like
that's another thing,
I feel
man.
like
Like,
people like didn't like really talk about that. The offense only scored three points, and so like for
What the
all that
thing,
we
what the thing with Georgia was, Georgia was missing a top 2 wide receivers. I think they was missing a third receiver that starts. They was missing a starting tight end. I mean, I think offensively they're gonna get better once they figured out who the best running back was. He started getting more carries in the second half, and they look better. But the thing with JT Daniels, like Shane said, he may not ever have to play well for them to have a chance. But I mean, the dude only started 3 games for them last year. He
yeah,
started that.
I'm not
Like,
saying I don't think he's
still,
bad or something.
he's still fresh as a starter. I think once he get his feet under him, he'll rise to the occasion. I think he will.
You could be right about that, and that's probably the difference. Like, for can they beat? Because if they play out, they're going to need Daniels to be good if they're going to beat Alabama. Obviously, I know that's not exactly a hot take, but like they can't get past a team like Alabama with just strong defense. Like, you are going to need to make plays. And like, speaking of Alabama, I mean, this kid, and again, I'm not going to overreact one game, and Miami's defense is trash, this and the other, but man, he was slinging that ball, and he can move, and they just reload wide receiver talent. We know that.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just like,
I'm going to overreact. I thought that was the best performance by a first-time starter.
That was really impressive.
Seen
I was not expecting that.
For a first-time starter, his first game starting, that was the best performance by a quarterback I've ever seen. He was unreal. I mean, he looked like he had started for 3 years. Nothing rattled that dude. He had just eluded pressure. He just ran that offense like he fucking been there for 3 years. And I was sitting there watching that game. He's like, "Fuck, man, they about to fucking repeat." Here we go. Here we go again with this Alabama bullshit.
Why in the world? I cannot figure out for the life of me. Why would you schedule Alabama for your opening season game ever? What possible good could come out of that other than getting your fucking ass kicked? And like, it's every year. They do this every year. Whoever they play in that first game, that first Saturday night ABC game, they destroy them. It's like, what's the point of this? Don't even tell me the experience.
You can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to schedule people. I remember Ohio State used to put people on their schedule, and I applauded them for that.
Yeah,
shit.
it's like Boeheim in basketball. Boeheim's playing men's leagues teams in November and December.
Yeah, it's and then he gets his 13 seed and then gets into the Elite Eight too.
Right.
Yeah.
Method to the madness. All right, tell me, who had the best win week 1? I know we're not gonna overreact, but what did y'all think the best win was?
Best win.
It's got to be Georgia, only because there's a stigma around the coach that he can't win a big game. And I think he finally got one. It ain't the one that matter. He got to get it in the playoffs, but it's an early start to what that come down the what comes down the pipe. I mean, you look at their schedule; they don't really have anybody else. You talk about Clemson's schedule. Georgia don't really have anybody tough for a while either. And we don't know about Florida. I mean, their next challenge could be the SEC championship game. Mm-hmm. So I think that was one they had to get, and they got. I thought that was the biggest win of the weekend.
Yeah, it's hard to argue against that. I would.
UCLA was another one.
That's mine, P.
That's a good one. I mean, you gotta throw Virginia Tech in there. I mean, they just all offseason we heard about Sam Howell Heisman. Is North Carolina the team that's going to challenge Clemson? And they just they held him to 10 points. So that's I think everything you guys just mentioned. I mean, those are all good wins.
DJ, you got anything different?
No, none of the different. I'm about to go with Georgia. I think Clemson had 3 yards rushing total. I think something like that. So like
3 yards.
Got
sacked 7 times.
Yeah, like in college, bro. Like that's silly. Like so I'll have to go with them based on what PJ has said. Like, yeah, like the stigma around the coach, just the program. I seen a meme. It was the national championship, and then it was like Georgia, and then they was like social distancing for 40 years, and so like yeah. So for them yeah, because y'all mentioned UCLA winning, that was pretty good too. But yeah, I had to go with Georgia.
Yeah, shout out to my NIU Huskies too with an upset, beat Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech. So a lot of people might be watching.
I
Y'all was
saw that.
down this weekend kicking it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
SEC is unserious.
yeah, I'm serious. Shout out to the MAC, you know what I'm saying? Can't wait for this MACtion to come up this year.
That's
I thought Penn State had a good win versus Wisconsin too. I don't know if y'all got a chance to watch that.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm sorry. And that game is an embarrassment to football. I mean, that's the ultimate. I'm sorry. That's the ultimate. You know, when the announcers, Gus Johnson and that idiot Joel Klatt try and talk about how it's, great defense. No. This isn't great defense. It's bad offense, and it's bad coaching, and it's bad decision making, and that game is just an absolute fucking disaster. I hate it. I hate everything about Big Ten football except Ohio State and Michigan. I do like watching Michigan, and you know what? I will say, like, I watched that Michigan game. And to see what's his name, Bell, the kid that got Bell, and the running back for Minnesota, like seeing that, man, that's like those are two of the better offensive players in the country, right, or in the Big Ten at least.
Yep.
And just to see them go down with season-ending injuries, like you knew right away the running back from Minnesota when they went down, it was, you knew that was Achilles right away, man. Like we've all watched sports for long enough to know like that was Achilles. And I was like, man, this fucking sucks. And then Bell, the same, like, that's like the worst part of, especially for the college kids, it's the worst.
Especially running Bell, because running Bell probably was going to end up with a first, second round grade. And to see him.
Was he really?
No, not that high, no.
Bullshit.
Not first round, no.
Probably second or third.
In this year's receiving class,
I don't know.
No, Bell was not going that high. It still sucks because by all accounts he's a great kid and this was supposed to be his big year, but no, he was not going to be a first round pick.
Okay, Mel Kiper.
Oh yeah, do we know? Like, I don't want to rag on somebody's personal issues here, but I don't know if you guys have followed this Todd McShay thing, but he was fucking drunk on the sidelines, and like go watch the Todd McShay video, and he was drunk, and like he just tweeted today that he's taking time away to focus on his health. Like it was fucked up. Like, I'm watching this video, and I remember I'm watching the game live, and I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell was that? Like he's slurring his words, and his head is bobbing up and down. And now today he says he's taking time away.
He had a bad moment last year, and he was sweating real bad, and they tried to say it was COVID, and they kind of left it at that, and you never heard nothing else come from it. But it kind of make you wonder if he's got some personal issues that he
that's
because that video that went viral last year looked pretty bad, and it was like I think he even got pulled off the air mid game. The
one from this past Saturday, like he was slurring his words, his heads were bobbing up and down, like, and then all of a sudden, I remember watching. I don't know if anybody else caught that. I'm like thinking, like, man, this guy fucked up. Shout out Todd McShay. Good luck.
Prayers to Todd McShay. Led by Shane now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
I see you, Mike, with the off-white.
Nah, ain't nothing going on, man.
Why you with the off-white?
So, Schwab just joined us. What's happening, Schwab?
What's going on, that guys?
Schwab, you said you had a message to IU. Interested, please.
Yes.
Oh my God. What a waste of time.
Exactly. That was a waste of time by them on Saturday. They spent an entire offseason yapping about we're disrespected and we're going to be great now and we're underrated and Tom Allen's this great coach, this visionary and love each other, and he's not going anywhere, and he's going to turn us into a national power in football too, not just a basketball school anymore, even though you stink at that now too. And you went out in week 1, fraudulent, unserious bums got absolutely smacked by Iowa. So I don't want to hear nothing from them the rest of the year. That was ridiculous.
All right, to the
I mean, they still got a good coach. He's still a great coach. I mean, I know you went to IU, so that you got a little bit of bias hater to you. It is what it is. But
you act like they were like some big favorite that got. They were 4.5-point dogs.
I mean, they got beat. Shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mike. Speaking
They
of
got
that,
the bejesus beat out of them. This isn't about the team itself. It's about the fans. That
I wouldn't even say
they were Notre Dame fans up until last year.
Terrible interceptions before half, and that ended them.
He stinks.
Bro, they didn't even spell the name right on the jersey, so we know what they was coming with.
Indonesia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't fuck with IU either, so I can't even hate on what Schwab's saying.
I mean, I don't fuck with IU either, but I don't think they was worth a mention.
That's a trash ass fan base.
They're a middle of the road Big Ten team.
The fan base literally was a Notre Dame fan base until last year. That's been the running joke. Like, what does an IU basketball fan say during football season? Go Irish. And it was true. Like, I kid you not. I went to games when I was there. They played Ohio State when Ohio State was number 1 in the country and couldn't fill the building.
Has that always been the case? That's been the case since the 80s, bro.
Yeah, but it's the number 1 team in the country.
That's been the case since the 80s.
Ohio State's not that far away.
That's been the case since the 80s.
I saw the building filled exactly once the entire time I was there. 2010 when they played Michigan, and IU I think was undefeated at the time. They tied it up late with like a minute to go, and then Denard threw that deep pass to it was Junior Hemingway and ran it in from there.
All right, you said your piece about IU. That's enough. We are going to touch on that Iowa State game Thursday night on the Gambling Show, Mike, because I think there's a nice little opportunity in that one.
Hey, I got a question for you, Kevin, though, real quick. Do you think Michigan has a problem on their hands with the quarterback situation? Because I can tell you from the friends that I know that are real Michigan fans that I don't know how much longer they are going to sit back and watch that freshman not get his opportunity.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Like, the hype is there.
The hype is
be fucking realistic.
There.
Talk as a football analyst, not as a fucking Michigan fan, please.
It's the same situation the Bears are in, where if Michigan's winning and McNamara is playing good football, and I think for this analogy, I think McNamara compared to Andy Dalton is actually a really good analogy. But if they're winning and they're playing good football, then you'll be able to say, McCarthy's going to wait. If they drop a couple, I mean, first of all, like, if they drop a couple, this will be the hot seat year for Harbaugh.
Hold on, I'm sorry, Tanner. They got a highly recruited freshman.
JJ McCarthy, 5-star quarterback, played at Nazareth in Illinois, transferred to IMG.
Oh.
I watched him play. They played Marist 2 years ago.
Okay,
I went there for that game. I kid you not, and I say this without hyperbole, JJ would have been the best quarterback on Michigan's roster at that point. Now, granted, that's not a very high bar to clear because it was Shea Patterson at the time, but the kid is legit. Like, he is going to be playing.
Yeah, I mean, Harbaugh, Prentice, like, just from Harbaugh's he's got to coach just to win games now. Like, not even like, if he doesn't think that kid's ready, then
he had a Mahomes-esque throw in that game. I mean, great. It was in garbage time against Western Michigan, but
shout out to Lou Esposito, Western Michigan, my boy.
You make a throw like that, like, you're gonna start getting the fan base clamoring, especially when it's a fan base that, like, they've been waiting for anything to get excited about.
True. That's why I asked you. I mean, it feels like Harbaugh's on the hot seat, but it doesn't feel as hot as it's been.
But I don't think it's. I just don't think it's that realistic to think he's on that hot of a seat because, like, sure, you could fire him, and then what? Like, who are you going to bring in that you could think? And I'm not some Jim Harbaugh defender, believe me. Like, I don't know who you think you're going to bring in that's going to like flip the script and get him in the playoff. That's the question, right? Like,
well, here's the thing, and I think
I should get a long way from the playoffs.
The fan base need to come to the realization that they're not a playoff caliber program. I think once that sinks in, that they nowhere near the caliber of Ohio State.
That's not how this works, though.
they're not right now. They're not right now, but like Clemson. I mean, we were talking. It was not that long ago in the grand scheme of things where there was the joke about Clemsoning and they were choking away games that they should win. So I mean, it can be done.
But you saw it coming though. Like me as a Florida State fan, when I saw fucking
yes, Clemson was Michigan,
Watkins and
Ohio State.
On the roster, like you knew
Ohio
what was
State's
coming.
not going to do anything stupid like get rid of their guy. And even if Ryan Day does bolt to the NFL, they got Luke Fickell waiting in Cincinnati, just like, please leave so I can take this job. I do think though they screwed up. They should have fired Harbaugh last year and backed up the Brinks truck to Matt Campbell's house because I think I don't think Orgeron's lasted a year at LSU, and that's another program with some deep pockets that should throw a ton of money at him.
Yeah, he's a dumb sack of shit too. I'm telling you, he's the most overrated coach.
You got to get that fast start quarterback, man. You got to get that fast start quarterback.
He's got one coming in. He's got one coming in. Walker Howard is coming in next year, and then they're one of the favorites to land Arch Manning. But yeah, Orgeron.
That's my boy.
I love the guy, but it's like when they first hired him, it's like, okay, this guy is Cajun Brady Hoke, and then they went on that run with Burrow and
can we while we're on the whole LSU kick, can we talk about how you said they were going to win by multiple touchdowns the other night? Let's bring that up.
Yeah, listen, I said this in the chat. I think I was right about UCLA. I was dead wrong. Hand up about LSU's defense this year. They still stink.
I mean, shout out Chip Kelly, man. That was a good win. Like I've always fucked with Chip Kelly. I hope they are legit. And who knows? That conference fucking sucks.
It does.
I mean, look at
it most definitely does.
The Oregon quarterback's hurt now, so that game against Ohio State just lost some juice for this Saturday. Like Mike, I think Ohio State's a 14-point favorite. I mean, that's probably going to be a blowout. And I was looking forward to that game, thinking maybe it could be, maybe it could be something decent. But
where's the game at?
I said they was gonna cover every game, so
you did.
It was a push because I had it at 14, but I did see it at minus 13 and a half.
And that game
it was 14. I'm gonna take the push. So we didn't lose.
If that game is played like with no fans, Ohio State probably wins that game by like 28. Like if it was like a last year atmosphere, you know what I'm saying? So like we got to keep remembering that these atmospheres are making a difference.
Yeah. Well, not only that, Ohio State shouldn't. I mean, these Big Ten teams shouldn't be playing each other week one. That was the fucking mistake from the jump. Get a couple confident games on your belt.
Yeah, I mean, look at North Carolina. I mean, you can look at that. Like, what are we doing? We lost like half of our program's gone, like all of our skill position players besides Howell. And then, we go to one of the toughest places to play in the country.
Big mistake. Big mistake.
Anybody got any more college takes, or what are we gonna do? We're gonna jump to the NFL.
Yeah, let's get it. Shout out to Ole Miss too. I should have posted on Good If It Goes Bet
real quick.
So shout out to y'all if y'all follow Ole Miss. I said put your house on it -6.5 first half. That definitely hit.
Real quick with that one, Shane. I mean, Mike, that game last night about had me. I turned that shit off at half. I like the NCAA has a problem, a major fucking problem with the targeting rule. And if they don't fix this shit, man, it is just going to be, I mean, literally, I think it was 20 fucking penalties in the first half. They had 4 targeting calls. I mean,
Ole Miss got a lot of penalties in that game.
I just don't understand at this point, why don't you treat it like the NBA with flagrants? You got a flagrant 1 and a flagrant 2.
Yeah.
If it looks intentional, then you kick his ass out and that's his fault. But
the fact that you're not judging intent at all is ridiculous. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous.
At that point, at halftime last night, I was like, there's no fucking way I'm watching the rest of this game. I turned this shit off. I mean, flag after flag, targeting after targeting. I'm like, they got to fix this shit, man.
Yep.
I agree.
And yeah, Mike gave out Mississippi -6.5. First half is a banger. My banger was Kansas State -3. That was a no doubt cover all the way. Catch us Thursday nights on the betting show.
Yes, sir. All right, man. We shift gears in the NFL. So we just gonna jump straight into the division. So let's start with the NFC. Schwab. We're going to start with the NFC South. We're going to go to the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and, they're defending champs. So who you got coming out the South, Schwab? What do you like? Anything that's not the Bucs? Any surprises? What do you like?
Tampa should skate this year, right? I mean, is there anybody you see in that division that should mount a serious challenge? I'm not buying the idea that Sean Payton has all of a sudden been able to fix Jameis Winston. I mean, Bruce Arians got rid of the guy first chance he got. And if there was anybody whose offense a guy like Winston should have been able to succeed in, it's Arians. That said, I don't think they're going to be terrible. I'm not counting on the Saints to be a playoff team. I think they could be on the graphic, in the hunt towards the end of the year. But, you see, on Fox every Sunday, in the hunt. One of those teams. Yeah, they'll hang around there for a while. I don't see much out of Carolina. I'm not a Darnold hater. I think there's something there for the guy, but there's just not a whole lot else on that team to get particularly excited about. And Atlanta, I see another middle of the road team. So Tampa gets 6 games against them. Frankly, spoiler alert, I have them as my 1 seed because, like I said, 6 games against those other 3 teams. They shouldn't go any worse than 5-1.
DJ?
I agree with Tampa. I ain't really none of those other teams really to me is gonna matter when it comes down to the playoffs and everything. Sam Darnold get a chance to prove himself with the Panthers. They got weapons over there, so we get a chance to see is he good? Was he a product of bad Jets, or is he just not that guy? But do I see them winning a bunch of games? No. Atlanta, they trash, so ain't no point in talking about them. And the Saints defense still going to be good, but then they got can't start Mike. He not playing. Emmanuel Sanders left. I don't know who James Winston is going to be throwing the ball to be honest, unless Gumbo Tebow going to be tight end and
players on the other team. That's who James is going to be throwing to.
I I guess so. I don't know. They still got Jared Cook, but it's the offense is going to be good. Kamara is going to be he's going to be great as usual. But it's I don't really know if they're going to have a bunch of weapons to really compete like that. So yeah, Tampa Bay, I got them, running away with it. Being able to return all 22 starters, which is unheard of from a Super Bowl winning team. It's gonna bode well from them. They get a full season of Antonio Brown. Grunt, it's not coming off of retirement. So I assume the offense is gonna be even better. The defense just got more confident. And
The
then
offense
somebody,
is old though. That's the only.
I mean, they just need to do it with one more year. Yeah, that's gonna be the thing with them is like health, and then health because of like age. So like
And then the game.
some things that that's health related because of their age. To me, that's gonna be like the biggest factors in stopping them. But if they stay like semi healthy, yeah, I got them winning the division.
Prentice, any surprises?
Not really. I think Carolina will be a lot better than people want to give him credit for. I think Matt Rule finally. I think he's a hell of a coach. I think he's building something over there. As long as the quarterback stay upright, he can. McCaffrey got to stay healthy. That's the biggest thing. But surprises, no. I mean, I could see Kamara winning MVP, but other than that, I mean, it's
really,
yeah. I can. It's Tampa or bust out there. So
that's a big surprise. that's a big one.
No, I mean, I really could see him win MVP. I think it's a situation where Jameis ain't throwing 35, 40 times a game. I think Kamara gonna have every opportunity to pad his stats. They cut Murray, I think, today. So I mean, Kamara 1,000 be the he could be the workhorse. So if they play it right and they win games, he scores touchdowns like he's capable of. I think he got an opportunity to get there.
Like Prentice got Kamara in a fantasy league or something. That's what's up.
I don't. I wish I did.
Shane, anything outside of the Bucks? What you thinking?
No, I mean, like I agree with everybody. This is the Bucks division. I think New Orleans can contend for a wild card. I think they'll be in that conversation for the wild card. I think Atlanta's the worst team in the division. I've said this 100 times. I thought they made the most egregious decision in the draft by taking Kyle Pitts, who I think is going to be a great player, but made no sense for the roster that they have and the direction they're trying to go. They should have taken Justin Fields, but they didn't. And I think they'll be drafting a quarterback in a year or two, which is the irony of all this. I do think Atlanta can score points, but they're going to give up 30, 35 a game. I am intrigued, I guess you could say, a little bit by Carolina. They have some playmakers, man. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, McCaffrey, obviously. And then, Matt Rule's a good coach. My issue with Carolina is, I'm worried about Sam Darnold being distracted because I don't know if his head's going to be in the game during practices and games because I know he's busy doing his own vaccine research. So I don't know, I don't know if he's all in for football this year. He's going to be going over documents every day and just researching, new FDA information. And I know he's going to be knee deep in vaccine research. So I don't know if he's all in for football. I know they got the backup, that old XFL quarterback, right? Whatever his name was, Schwab, help me out here. Walker, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if he's ready to play, if that guy can help him win, then they got a chance. Because I don't want to interrupt Sam's vaccine research.
All right, we're going to go ahead. Prentice, I'm with you. I think Carolina better than people said. Schwab, I guess he ain't know Christian McCaffrey was on the team too. So, and then they got DJ Moore and they got Robbie Anderson too. Like them dudes to me are stud receivers. So I'm not saying they're gonna win the division, but I think Sam Darnold will have a better chance than he had in New York. He got some real Christian McCaffrey was a real weapon 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. Jokes aside about Darnold, the guy never had a chance with the Jets, right? I still think he can play a little bit. He's finally got,
me too.
Playmakers around him and finally a good coach. I mean, how many players are going to succeed with what they had in New York for those years?
None of them.
Right. So we'll see.
Speaking of the Jets,
and he's 24. No, and he's 24. So it's like, I mean, he still got time. So this year gonna be important for him because they got, like y'all said, I mean, they got the weapons and they got an offensive, minded coach with Brady calling the plays too. So I mean, Yeah, that's gonna be important to see like that because he could be 25 and just be done. Like that'd be crazy.
Well, Sam Darnold, I know you watching, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got some support and some love for at least over half of this pod. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Sam Darnold. We're gonna try to get you on the podcast, maybe mid-season or something, you know what I'm saying? Speaking of the Jets, we're gonna go we're not going to AFC, we're gonna stay in the NFC. We'll go to their counterparts in their division where I live also. NFC East. Uh DJ, I'm gonna start with you. Is it fly, Eagles fly? What's going on?
Man,
It's
so
a
I do
toss up again, like every year. Just
yeah,
pick them.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna although I do root for the Eagles too, I just need to be realistic. Yeah, it's a toss up. Washington clearly has the best defense in the division and one of the best defenses in the league. That's gonna keep them in a game. They got Fitz Magic. As long as he don't turn over the ball, or as long as the clock don't strike 12 and then his magic run out, I think they're gonna be okay. Antonio Gibson can run the ball. They got a number one wideout in Terry. And so they just paid their tight end too, who is solid. And so Washington, I think, would have the best chance. It's
Didn't they
only
add a
question.
receiver too?
Curtis
Yeah,
Samuel, I believe.
there you
There we
go.
go.
Yeah,
Yes,
there you
sir.
go. So yeah, they got him too as well. So as long as Fitzpatrick like plays similar to what he did last year with the Dolphins, like I I think they're going to win the division. It's too many question marks for the Eagles for me to even talk about what they're doing. The Cowboys, for some reason, always get on TV. They get all this hype. They get all this stuff, and I don't really understand why. I was watching the Hard
Because they're
Knocks.
America's team.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a
His
whole nother
hard
story
knock
for
season was
another day.
horrible.
Eh, And and so like you seeing like Dak, like they not really sure is he healthy. The defense still is gonna be like the biggest like question mark with them. And plus, like they always find a way to lose, like when they should be winning. So like I'm not really counting them out. And I'm not really necessarily paying attention to the Giants. Saquon back, that's gonna help their offense. I don't really trust Daniel Jones to do anything but turn over the ball. Their defense is solid, but they are like a worse version of like Washington. Like they're a worse version of Washington. Like, and so I don't think they're gonna have enough to like overcome, that so many things. And I think Daniel Jones is gonna be on a new team next year. I think this is rookie year. So yeah, I think he might be on a new team next year. But I'm picking Washington.
Washington. Prentice, who you got?
I got the Redskins too. I think the Redskins looked good in the playoffs last year. I forgot who they lost to in the wild card, but they gave them a hell
Tampa Bay.
Tampa. I thought they gave them a game, and I think they added the pieces to be a better team. I can see, the chaos with Philly. I could still see like Hurts, like that team just kind of galvanized around him. Like they fuck around and win 9 or 10 games and still a playoff bid. But them other two, they don't count in the conversation. I don't. Dallas defense is awful. I know Shane Boy out there, and I always laugh when Shane criticized McCarthy, and I thought it was unfair, but he fucking sucks. And then he goes out and he hires Nolan as defense coordinator. He fucking sucks. And that defense is already historically bad, and then you just go get a garbage coordinator like that. That whole organization is dumpster juice. They need to cut some ties and start fresh. But in the meantime, I think Washington, with the defenses they have, I think they'll be in every game, and I think they'll win the division.
Hey, anything different?
The only team that I will rule out from winning this division is the Giants, because I think they're so inept offensively. I don't think any of these moves, like the Galladay thing, I didn't like. Then they went and drafted Tony at 20, and he's a problem already. Daniel Jones ain't it. It's just that simple. Daniel Jones just ain't it. You are not winning anything with that guy as your quarterback. on the betting show that me and Mike did when we were going through division by division from a betting perspective. Now it's a little different than just flat out, picking it. I said that I did. I threw some couch change on the Eagles at plus 550. I think this is if you're making me pick the division, I'll say it's Washington because I think they're the most balanced. I think they have the best the best defense, and I think their offense is good enough. But I think Philly, they're somewhat intriguing. I think 9 or 10 wins gets this division, right? I mean, that's the NFC East. That's the NFC East. So
maybe less.
Who knows? I would say
17 game season. Let's remember 17 game season.
Yeah.
My pick, my official pick is Washington, but nothing would really surprise me. If you do get a healthy Dak, I mean they got a shot because he's by far the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah. But it's just will they be able to stop whoever? And then also will they not make those fourth quarter Dallas mistakes that they so prone to make.
Right.
It's just with the Eagles, I don't know their skill positions. I really it's just question marks. It's just a lot of question marks. I like Miles Sanders. And that's really the only person that I really count on. I really want to see what Jalen Hurts do. But I don't know if Devontae Smith gonna be good. I don't know if whoever else they got over there. I don't really like Jalen Reagor. I thought it was a terrible pick when Justin Jefferson was on the board. And the tight end is gonna be good, but Zach Ertz ain't been healthy in a while. So I'm just not really too sure about them offensively.
Well, Schwab.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Washington too. I don't have any faith in Dallas's defense. I'm sure McCarthy's gonna McCarthy some games away. I don't know how healthy Dak is. I do think this is the worst division in the conference, and 9 wins might take it. But just like we covered everything already, I think Washington's got the best defense. Their offense, like Shane said, it's good enough. And it's definitely not going to be the Giants. I don't have any sort of faith in the Eagles quarterback situation. Nick Sirianni, come on with that one. I didn't understand that hire at the time. I haven't liked it anymore since. Hasn't done anything to jump out of that I might be wrong about the guy. I'm picking Washington.
Well, I agree with y'all. Washington does have the best defense, one of the best defenses in the league, but Dallas by far has the best offense. And when we're playing in Patrick Mahomes NFL, you need a good goddamn offense to win. So Dallas Cowboys is my NFC East pick. I don't know, maybe it's something in the water.
It is, man. Bro, that Dallas order got to.
My hot take is CeeDee Lamb statistically will be a top 5 receiver this year.
Hopefully he hold on.
And he was on his way to doing that last year before Dak got hurt, and he still put up numbers with Andy Dalton and with Ben DiNucci and whoever the fuck else. He could have had fucking Forrest Buck throwing the ball to him.
Hopefully he hold on to the ball.
He is a stud.
No, he is.
That's
you got to hold on to the ball.
Zach Martin being out with COVID, that really messes them up because I really wanted to see that matchup. And going up against that Tampa Bay line, which we seen what they did to Patrick Mahomes and them in the Super Bowl, and then just all year with Todd Bowles. And on this podcast, we gave him a lot of credit and gave him his flowers, for what they did. But just relating to the division, I'm going with Dallas. So put me down for that. We're gonna swing it up north to the NFC North.
Hold on, real quick. Your take was scorching hot because they still got Amari Cooper on the other side playing.
That's okay. That's fine. Absolutely fine.
And Gallup.
And they got Michael Gallup. Yep.
Yeah.
And Ezekiel Elliott, he catch some balls out the backfield too. Cool. And CeeDee Lamb's going to be a top 5, statistically, top 5 receiver in the NFL.
Yards?
However you, because I can't say just yards because then some people will add touchdowns. So just statistically, overall, if we doing 1 through 5 statistically, so we can say yards plus touchdowns equals whatever formula we make, catches, receptions also, minus drops, all that.
Because he had some drops.
He
had some big drops. He had some big drops.
You drafted him in fantasy football.
Oh yeah, every year I had him last year too. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah, for real though, I'm really high on him. He's my favorite receiver right now, along with AB, down there getting in the NFC South. So scorching hot take for week 1. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what's going on. All right, so we're gonna go up north to where it's chilly at. I'm gonna get my pick out the way right now. I'm going Green Bay. This whole Aaron Rodgers saga, it is what it is. They've just had a stranglehold on the division for years. And LaFleur is probably like, I feel like he can get them, aside from obviously 2010, he could probably get more out of this team than any coach they really have had, and get more out of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was the MVP last year, y'all. Like, I don't even think people even talk about that. He was the whole MVP. So, Aaron Jones back, stud running back in my opinion. I don't see nobody beating them, winning the division. The Bears are gonna probably have a good ass defense again, and they're gonna have their quarterback stuff trying to figure that out. But they're a couple years away, even if they throw Justin Fields in. And then Minnesota is just not. They got a hell of a receiver in Justin Jefferson. Like, you want to talk top 5 statistically, he probably up there too. Well, he's up there too. He's better than CeeDee Lamb right now. But and you got Thielen on the other end, and Dalvin Cook. Like, when Dalvin Cook healthy, aside from Derrick Henry, I don't see another running back better than him in the NFL. Like, I just don't.
Saquon.
And I've been saying that probably for the last 2 years, and I believe that. So, but health is an attribute, so that definitely matters. In Detroit, I'm not even gonna speak on them dudes. So I'm going with Green Bay.
Kevin, what did you say?
So I'm already jumping in.
I said Saquon would be up there for me.
Oh well, yeah, but hell, he's been out 2 seasons.
Better than Dalvin Cook.
When everybody's healthy, I think yeah.
We ain't even really seen health. What, has Saquon played 20 games?
I don't think so.
And I like Saquon. I think he was trending to be one of the best football players, let alone running back. But we ain't seen the tape. Ain't no tape. We had tape on Dalvin Cook, and Minnesota is a much better team when he's there. Like, he's a ball player. Like, obviously Derrick Henry is in a different class. He's a different type of running back. And then you got like Dalvin Cook. You got Alvin Kamara for sure. He right there, but Alvin Kamara is such a utility. And then their offense plan is a lot different. And then you got a guy like Nick Chubb right there too. Nick Chubb was hurt too. You plug and play with Kareem Hunt, he do the same thing for the most part. So, but Dalvin Cook, he just different. He's different. I know, Prentice, you loving hearing that, especially what you got on your chest. But I fuck with Dalvin Cook. Like, he real. He's a division winner. If the Packers aren't in the division, Dalvin Cook is the type of guy who wins your division for you. So
true that. Yeah, Dalvin Cook, he tough, man. He's tough with the Florida State, and he now catching. He caught his stride last year where he stayed healthy all season. You got to see his ability and how good he really is. No reason for him to even slip to the second round. I still think Kirk Cousins is a bag of dog shit. So they'll never win a thing. They'll never win a thing with him out there at quarterback. So
pedestrian quarterback, good enough to keep your team above 500.
It's Green Bay. It's Green Bay's division to lose, and I think they'll go 13-4, something like that. They'll run away with that division.
I don't know what to make of them. I mean, I think they're going to be good, but you think back to last year. I mean, and I don't mean this to sound like Rodgers is washed or going anywhere or anything. At least not this year. But can he have that exact same kind of year? Because if it's even a little bit, and to be clear, they're going to win that division. I don't know if 13-4 necessarily, something like that, just because that offensive line is taking a beating. Bakhtiari's not playing, at least not right away. Corey Linsley's gone. They never truly replaced Brian Balaga. They have exactly one sure thing on that offensive line, and it's Elton Jenkins. And it really, I think it was a mistake paying Jones instead of Linsley, but that's neither here nor there right now. I could see them taking a step back, not enough of one to lose the division, but enough of one to be probably the 3 seed in the conference.
Ooh, Shane, DJ.
Oh yeah, I mean it's Green Bay's division. We know that, barring an Aaron Rodgers injury. I just don't think they're not a team that's going to seriously regress because they really are well coached. Like LaFleur's scheme, you could make a legitimate case that LaFleur's scheme saved Aaron Rodgers' career. I mean, before LaFleur got there, Aaron Rodgers in 2015, 2016 was a average at best quarterback. And when LaFleur came, I mean, and now he's in year 3 in his system, and he's that's definitely prolonged Rodgers' career. Like that's not even debatable. Like LaFleur deserves, so we for years we said that Rodgers was carrying McCarthy and which was completely accurate. I said that for years. And questionable front office decisions, largely bad defenses. But then, it got to a point where it's like Rodgers was not, Superman anymore. And then they finally got rid of McCarthy, brought in LaFleur, and now he's back to being, the MVP. So I don't see how Green Bay could actually regress to the point where they're not, running this division and at least being Schwab could be right. I mean, they could be a 3 seed. They do have a tough schedule this year. That's for sure.
Yep.
But, the only thing you could say about Green Bay is, all right, are they going to win the NFC Championship or not? That's pretty much, that's the question about the Packers. I do think Minnesota will be a little bit improved. I think Detroit's a bottom 5 team for sure. That's a bad roster. That's a horrific head coach that they gave a 6-year deal to for reasons I'll never understand.
Because he's going to bite your kneecap off, and then you knock him down, he's going to get back up.
I mean,
he's going to bite your other kneecap off.
I think
then he's going to take a pound of flesh.
Like Detroit, Dan Campbell versus Kyle Shanahan week 1. I don't know when the next time you're going to see a coaching mismatch that bad. I mean, you got a guy like in Kyle Shanahan that's, as good as he gets in the league, as smart as there is, he's thinking ahead. And then you got a guy like Dan Campbell that thinks it's 1985 and we're going to pound the ball and Jared Goff's going to manage us to wins. It's insane.
Not so fast, my friend. Dallas plays Tampa Bay. Bruce Arians against Fat Beaver Cleaver.
And then I think the Bears are anywhere from a 7-9 win team. So I think the Bears could be in the wild card conversation. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict wins and losses for the Bears because we just don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be. But I mean, I think still best case scenario is probably 9 wins, which is in the wild card conversation, I guess. So it's Green Bay's division to win, but I think the other teams, I think Minnesota and then Chicago, some things go their way. I think they can be wild card teams.
DJ,
I'm going Bears to win. No, I'm just playing. The Packers gonna win it until I guess Aaron Rodgers leave. Everybody pretty much said everything. I already got nothing to add. Detroit gonna suck. The Vikings, I don't know, get them out of here. Packers pretty much gonna win it.
All right. We're going to go out west to what I believe, and I think all of us believe, is the toughest division in the NFL, NFC West. who we gonna start with? We'll start back with you, DJ. Go ahead. Who you got in the West?
The West. I'm gonna go with Seattle.
Whoa, that's bold.
In the West, I'm gonna go Seattle. I think that they got the best quarterback out there. They didn't necessarily fix their offensive line, but I do think that Russ is gonna be like out to prove something this year. His start that he had last year was crazy, good, and then like something just happened, and then it just like fell off. And then so I think that they'll be able to like learn from those mistakes. I think Arizona is gonna get Cliff Kingsbury fired because I don't think that they're gonna which he's trash. So like they probably like doing everybody a favor and getting him back to college or something, or he can go coach at a community college or something. And what's that college that school that wasn't a school? Like he can go,
Bishop Sycamore.
yeah, like he can go coach there. He'd be a good coach for Bishop Sycamore. Um, and then the Rams, man, the Rams are gonna be like really, really good. Like people picking them to go to the Super Bowl, but I think the injury bug is gonna get them. Like I just feel like something is gonna happen. Sean McVay gonna outthink something, and like I feel like something is gonna get in their way because everybody picking them to go to the Super Bowl, and like it just seems like that's too sweet. And with the Niners, I don't know, they got to figure out their quarterback situation. Similar to the Bears, like once they're able to figure that out, then we'll see. They got a really great defense. Shanahan gonna be able to scheme up a lot of great things, but they still gotta like figure that out, like what they're gonna do with like both of their guys. And then half of their defense is coming back off of injuries, so it's gonna be important to see how all them guys play. But I'm gonna just go with Seattle.
Prentice, your squad is in this division. You going with Seattle like DJ? What you thinking?
No, I'm actually going with the Rams. But I think when you look at the rest of the NFC, I think there's so many lackluster teams out there. I think this could be a year where 3 teams from that division get in the playoffs. I could see the Rams, the Niners, and Seattle all getting in the playoffs. I think the Rams will win the division, but I think for a ceiling standpoint, I think San Francisco has the ability to go further in the playoff. But I could see 3 of the teams from that division get in. The thing what DJ said about Russ, I think he got something to prove, but I think also there was so much discourse there towards the end of the year where he wanted to get traded, and you don't know if those rumors were real or not. There was a lot of talk to him going to the Bears and a bunch of other bullshit that I could see one wrong turn out there, and it just that whole ship just crash and burn the fire, and they fuck around and go 5-12, and they fire everybody. So it's Seattle is just a mystery to me. Like they could win it, but they also could just be complete dog shit.
Who was the pick
Cardinals? I'm taking the Rams, but I like I said, I believe 3 teams from that division can make the playoffs.
I do too. Like we said, that's the best division in football, and I do feel like that those 3 teams is gonna be fighting for it all year. I just don't believe in the Cardinals at all, and I absolutely hate that coach. So yeah.
Wow, the Cliff Kingsbury hate.
It's white privilege at its finest. He had all those guys to come in college, and he never finished above 8-8, and then they just gave him the keys to the #1 overall pick in a great city, and then just like, bro, go ahead. And like you don't see nowhere where like he didn't achieve nothing in college, and then they just gave him the keys. And his team has been 8-8 since then. And he's supposed to be coming in and changing the offense, and Kyler Murray is supposed to be like doing all his great things, and we supposed to be seeing like the stuff that they said about Sean McVay and Chanel. That's what they told us who Cliff was, but like we didn't even see that at Texas Tech. He had Patrick Mahomes. He had, I think, Baker Mayfield at one point. Like he had different guys, but Buddy never finished better than 500. So like I don't know. And his teams now, like they embody him, just overrated.
All right, Schwab. Let's see, Wes.
I like the Rams. They had one glaring need and they addressed it. And they addressed it in a big way. And I think they finally got that one missing piece. And he's going to take them a long way. It's a tough division, so I'm not taking them to be the one seed or anything, but they're going to be a tough out. They still got a great defense. I don't think Raheem Morris was a bad hire as a defensive coordinator, replacing Brandon Staley. But yeah, I like the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams too. I am scared of 49ers health. Raheem Mostert is a hell of a running back. And I really think Trey Sermon is going to be like that guy, like for real, like watching him at Ohio State, but even he went out, with an injury. So concerned about the 49ers health. Of course, Kittle, a guy like Kittle, that's another division winner right there. That's another guy who I feel like is one of the best football players, let alone best players at his position. He can't stay healthy. And they got quarterback stuff going on over there. So I don't know if they're gonna run that platoon with Jimmy G and Trey or what, but I'm just afraid of their injury stuff. And then coupling that with their the decisions they gotta make at quarterback position. And like you said, Schwab, and I seen everybody nodding their head like they addressed their biggest area of what they needed to grow at, and that was quarterback. I think Stafford, I don't think he's gonna have a career year. He ain't throwing a Megatron, but he got a lot of weapons over there. And I think the guys in their backfield are gonna be better. Cam Akers going down, that was huge, but I think Darrell Henderson will be okay. And you still got Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. And then they just be having random tight ends too who, can catch. So I think the Rams are gonna be all right. I got them in the division. And I'm with y'all. I think 3 teams can come out that division because I never count the Seahawks out as long as they got Russell Wilson under center. So,
what was your pick, Shane?
Yeah, so I got to co-sign all you guys except my guy DJ because I'm not a believer in Seattle. I'm with you on the Rams. Look, that is a monumental upgrade from Goff to Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you put Stafford, like, I think like if you put like any competent quarterback in that system with those players and to go along with an above average defense, like that's going to be a very good team. And I think like, I like their chances to win the Super Bowl. I think they're live for sure. I don't know if I can go with the 3 teams making. I'm not arguing again. I guess my counterpoint to that point would be is they're going to beat up on each other, right? Like, as good as I think we all think the Rams are going to be, the 49ers are a really good team. They're going to be right there too. And like if Trey Lance is, if he gets in quick and like he plays to his potential, then I mean we're talking about them as a Super Bowl contender too. The only team in that division, and I just don't like, is Arizona. I think Kyler Murray is a great fantasy quarterback, but I don't think he's a great quarterback. DJ hit it on the head about Kingsbury. He is god awful. Like, he has absolutely no business as an NFL head coach. Maybe as an offensive coordinator, maybe, but as a head coach, absolutely not. And I'm sorry, not bringing in the corpse of JJ Watt isn't exactly, like that's not exactly a game changer to me. So to me, it's still the Rams. I think Seattle, like offensively, with how good their receivers are and how good Russell Wilson is, like they're still going to be winning games just based on that alone. Like I think, Mike, they're going to be in a lot of games that are over the total this year. The Seahawks should be in a lot of 30-27 type games, but I don't like I don't like Pete Carroll. They do not have a good defense. The Jamal Adams thing still never made any sense to me. Trading 2 first-round picks for a hard-hitting box safety makes no sense. And then paying him, like that's just they had no choice but to pay him after making the trade. But that just doesn't do it for me. So like Seattle, I can't take them seriously as a contender with those top 2. So it's the Rams with the caveat, like if Lance gets in quick, if they stop this stupid charade with throwing Garoppolo out there and just put Lance in and see where this kid can take you, like that was my argument about why they should go Lance sooner rather than later, because you do not have time to waste. If like you threw all this draft capital at this kid, you are sure that's your guy, just go with it.
Yeah. It's kind of a similar situation like you got in Chicago, but San Francisco is really in win now. They got a roster I feel like is ready for a championship. It's just injuries, man. So, all right. Tap into the AFC. Where we start? We started in the South. Let's start in the South for the AFC. Shane, I'll kick it right back to you. What you think of AFC South? Who you got?
Titans. It's the Titans. The Texans are going to be the worst team in the league. I think we all pretty much agree on that. The situation they have there is a joke. This Watson thing makes no sense. Why they don't just why the NFL doesn't step in and do something is insane to me. But Jacksonville, even if Lawrence is good, they're not ready to win. They're not ready to be taken serious as a contender. Indianapolis, while it's a very good roster, good defense, good coaching staff, Carson Wentz, we talk about, we always use the word if healthy, if so-and-so is healthy. Well, when exactly is Carson Wentz healthy? The guy wakes up in the morning, brushes his teeth, and gets hurt. He can't stay on the field. They have no backup. So who's their backup? Like Ellinger got hurt. It's some guy, Easton, right? From Washington?
Like that. Easton Stick?
Yeah.
No. Jacob Easton.
Whatever the fuck his name is. I mean, it's like that team, like the Wentz move made no sense to me. It really didn't. And
who else are they supposed to get, Shane?
Huh?
Who else are they supposed to get?
I don't know. Anybody. I would have gone out and got Jameis Winston. Why not? Like there was other guys on the market they could have got. But like Tennessee, while I still think they have defensive questions, that's a potent offense, man. Like good luck. Like I don't think Julio Jones, that's another guy, like he needs to stay on the field. But I mean, even without Julio, that's a prolific offense. Like that, they're good. They're going to be good enough to win it. I don't think they're good enough to like challenge one of the top teams like Buffalo or KC really in the playoffs. But I think they're the division winner.
DJ.
Yeah, I'm about to go Titans too. I'm not a fan of their defense. Their offense is going to be really good, like Shane said. Even if your defense is not really like great, like you need one or two things or both. You need to be able to create pressure, or you need to be able to get turnovers. And the Titans last year couldn't do neither one of those things. I think they had like the lowest amount of sacks, so they was top 5 in like sacks. Bottom 5 in sacks, but Houston is gonna be trash. They got to figure that out. The Colts, that health thing is gonna be really serious, and so like it's pretty much just the Titans division to lose, and I don't think they're gonna lose it.
Brandis.
Oh yeah, no need to mention Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, Texans, unserious ass franchises. Colts got a lot of young players on their defense that I like, but offensively they just I'm with Shane. I didn't really care for the Carson Wentz move. I thought Jameis and there was some other players out there. I thought they could have addressed or went after. But like it's the Titans division to lose, man. It's offensively they got the best offense in that division. They should run away with it.
Who didn't go? Schwab.
Tennessee. We covered all of it already. I have zero faith in anybody else in that division. Jacksonville and Houston should be competing for the first overall pick. Does Houston even have their pick this year? I don't know. Did they trade it? Somebody fill me in on that one. Regardless, both those teams stink. Watson's going to be out of there. The fact that those two teams have to play each other twice is a crime against humanity. And the Khan family should focus on their wrestling company because it's infinitely better than whatever it is they think they're doing on the football field.
The Texans are so pathetic that they're 3-point underdogs at home this week to the Jaguars. When was the last time that happened?
Yeah, that's trash.
Like that's like you're a rookie quarterback for a team that just won one game last year and literally did nothing else this offseason. and you're a 3-point underdog in the game, the opening game of the season at home.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going with the Titans myself. I like the Titans in this division the last couple of years. They got the best player in the division by far. Now that Deshaun Watson is out, and Derrick Henry, and that's a division winning player. Excited to see what Trevor Lawrence can do. There's been a lot of hype over him over the last couple of years, so definitely excited to see what he's going to do. And have no expectations of him. So very excited though. All right, we'll go to the East. AFC East. This is not your granddaddy's AFC East. This is not your father's AFC East. This is not your own AFC East. And it's crazy that the Patriots are just like not a lock anymore. They're not Sharpie there. So, but I think we do have a new sheriff, a new Sharpie. So I'll see if you guys agree with me. DJ, who you got in the AFC East and why?
I got the Bills. They're the best team, the best quarterback in the division. Don't know what you're gonna get out of Mac Jones. Everything is sweet in the preseason. That's cool. Tua, another big question mark. And the Jets, okay, like ain't nobody talking about no Jets. So I think that Buffalo is going to be able to run away with it. Miami did win 10 games last year, but that was with Fitzpatrick kind of like taking over a lot of games. And so Tua is a question mark. Yeah, basically you got the established veteran that just got like $250 million, and then you got a bunch of young guys. That's the rest of the division quarterback. So I'll take the team with the dude that they just paid a lot of money to.
Okay. Sounds good. Prentice, what you think?
I don't think it's as close as people try to make it out to be. I know they try to talk up the Dolphins, but I think that was just a kind of a one-year wonder. It's Buffalo by a long shot. And, you know, like DJ said, they got the best quarterback in that division. He's another one that I wrote down in my notes where I put him on my MVP list. I think he's one of 4 or 5 guys I think that legitimately could win the MVP this year. I don't know if they got enough horses to win the Super Bowl, but I think they can contend for the AFC title.
Shane, any changes?
I mean, Mike, how many times have I gone in on this division on our shows? It's Buffalo, man. I'm not buying anything about New England or Miami. I do think New England made the right decision in going with Mac Jones over Cam Newton. I think he's better right now. And I think he's going to actually be probably a better quarterback than myself and a lot of people probably gave him credit for coming out of the draft. That being said, I don't really love that roster. It's maybe right around that, well, it's not 500 anymore, 17 games, but there may be an 8-win team, maybe a 9-win team, something in that area. Miami, solid roster, well coached. They don't have a quarterback. I just don't. The Buffalo. This is Buffalo's. Man, they got 13-4 written all over it, man. I mean, the best thing that can happen too is Cole Beasley catches an early case of COVID and just wipes him out. So that way he can't pass. If he dies, like, he can't pass it on to anybody else. So that's they kind of need to hope for that too. So, but I think Buffalo runs away with this division, and Buffalo. Are we gonna get the Super Bowl picks?
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to.
Okay. So yeah, I'll save it for my after that. But yeah, got no love. Fuck Cole Beasley, dude. I don't care. That guy's a piece of shit.
All right. He threw me off, man. Sure. Sure.
We made it a while without Shane killing anybody, so that was nice. It's Buffalo. They're going to run away with this one. I don't see anybody to mount a significant challenge, and I'm not a believer in the Dolphins at all unless they get Deshaun Watson. We called Tua turn the ball over on this show, and I meant it. He stinks. Didn't like him coming out of Alabama. Like him less now. Now watch, he's going to go out and win the MVP. But no, I honestly think New England's the second best team in that division. And I think Jones is going to be a solid quarterback. But they've surrounded with a lot of nice players. Nobody that's really jumps out at you like, oh my God, this guy's a star, but just a solid team. And I think that might be enough to get them a wild card berth. But as far as the division winner, Buffalo going away, they'll win this by 3-4 games easily.
All right. We want Buffalo. I'm interested to see how the Mac Jones experiment goes. They got better at a lot of positions. I'm just interested. Like DJ kind of spoke on just how like they started Cam every preseason game. They worked him out with the ones when they did play their ones and the twos. So just the sense behind that and what they did going. I don't know if Belichick just knows he has this guy. So that's gonna be interesting to watch. I ain't excited to watch Mac Jones like at all, but at the same time, I'm very intrigued. I will be tuning into the Patriots games for sure to see how they work that out because they still got a hell of a defense. And that defense historically, when they have a good defense, they can win games regardless of how well the quarterback play was. Even though they did have fucking Tom Brady, but
and then they got Judon, so they upgraded the defense too.
Yeah,
they got all them guys coming back. They all healthy. They didn't take a year of beating on their body, so their defense I think, is still going to be good. It's just that you got a question mark still at the biggest position. So, but yeah, like I said, it's the Bills.
All right, AFC. Let's go West before we go North. I think the North we might have the most contention. So let's go West. Does anybody not think the Chiefs are going to win this division?
No.
Okay.
No, I Chiefs win the division, but
Justin.
I think
all right, go ahead. Go ahead.
You know how high I am on the Chargers this year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to win the division, and which is fine. I think they're a wild card lock, and they're a team that can go beat anybody in the playoffs. Like I think they have We talked about this a while ago, Mike. I took them at 34-1 to win the Super Bowl. I think they're like everything's pointing in the right direction for them to explode this year.
I like the Chargers. Wild card lock. Three wild card teams, yeah. And we'll talk about the North next. One of the North teams getting the wild card spot for sure. So yeah, I'll say a lock. I'm with you on that. And I'm high on Justin Herbert. So I don't know what their running back's gonna do. I think that's a big deal over there. They backfield got a tight because Eckler has talent. And then they have like others who like can kind of do what Eckler. It's like none of them did what Melvin Gordon was supposed to do, but Eckler was like he's good. But then like he get hurt, and you got like a guy like Justin Jackson who like he's supposed to be like off-brand Eckler, but like Eckler was like off-brand who was like forced to be. I don't know what they got going on over there. I just know Herbert is a hell of a quarterback, and I want him to have weapons. I want him to succeed. So. I like that wild card, to make the playoffs. I like that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna find out what Chargers to make the playoffs is now, and y'all can get that on Good If It Goes Betting on Thursday with me and Shane. So, any more thoughts? NFC West, DJ, you about to say something?
No,
sorry,
AFC West. I was just agreeing with you about like the Chargers. I think they're going to make the wild card. But I do agree with Shane. I feel like they got enough talent to make a deep run. Actually, they could have made the playoffs last year. They could finish a fourth quarter, to save their lives. Like they was in most of their games all season with a rookie quarterback. So I believe they learned from it, but also I feel like that team is kind of cursed too. So eventually they gotta break the curse because they've been choking for a long time. But then nobody cared because then they was in San Diego. They was, out west. Wasn't nobody really paying no attention to them. So but low key though, they've been choking for a long time. Like Phillip Rivers said, 15, 16 years of them not being able to close the deal, but being super, super talented. Everybody picking them yeah, that's my dark horse. LT, yeah, they got this. They got this. And they've been a dark horse. They've been a dark horse for 20 years now, and they still dark. So eventually, I think Herbert, they might be blessed with another Hall of Fame type quarterback, and I think during Herbert's tenure, they will get over the hump and win playoff games and make deep runs and then make it to a Super Bowl. But I do think this year they should be good enough to make it to the wild card. But they're not beating the Chiefs though.
It was close last year.
I mean, look, here's the thing about the Chiefs. The Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes just had the greatest 3-year stretch by every metric there is by any quarterback in the history of the game. And they won one Super Bowl. It's hard, man. It's hard to win the Super Bowl. There's no guarantees, especially in a single elimination tournament. You get in the playoffs, you have a legitimate shot. And I think the Chargers are built to make a deep run. I mean, they get, Bosa's back. Derwin James is back. They got rid of one of the worst coaches in the league. That's addition by subtraction. I mean, you get a quarterback entering his second year. It's all the signs are right. I'm not saying over a 17-game sample, they're not a better team than the Chiefs, but they don't have to be. Just get in, get hot.
All right, let's swing it to the North. I think the West is the best division, but I think the North may end up being the most fun division.
You're talking about the NFC West. You think is the best division?
Yeah.
Okay.
The NFC West is the best division, but the AFC North, I think, is not far off, in my opinion. And I think
I agree.
It may be the most intriguing division because I feel like just depending on how these teams get off to a start. I mean, Pittsburgh went 11-0 last year, 12-0 last year, start the season.
11-0.
and then looked terrible after that. And I mean, so I'm not saying the Bengals are in the mix to win, but like I would like to watch a Bengals game this season. Like I would like to watch a couple of Bengals games this year. I would probably watch, if I was able to, I would watch any game the Bengals play a team in their division. It's that type of division now. And that's mostly because of Joe Burrow. But so AFC North, for me, is the most intriguing division. It's probably gonna have the most games I want to watch, even though Baker Mayfield still sucks. So I know you watching. You probably thought I was gonna say something different about you this year because we was talking about Oklahoma in the old days, not long ago in the CFB part. But you still suck, and your team will win in spite of you. So I know you watching, bro. You know, hit my at. You know the at Mikey Vick. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. You got something to say, bro. Maybe we can even do damn wild to hate Baker Mayfield tomorrow on Good If It Goes Jay. Check me and DJ out. Schwab, I'm gonna kick it over to you, bro. What you got? What you like in the AFC North? Tell me why.
God, this is a tough one to pick. I think Cleveland's the most complete team. I think. I'm not a big believer in Baker Mayfield either, but I think he's good enough. The weapons they got around him, and it should be a pretty strong defense too. So I struggled between them and Baltimore, and settled on Cleveland.
DJ, who you like?
I'm gonna go Baltimore. I'm not a big believer in Baker Mayfield. I think he sucked too. I think he's been overrated. I'm just not a big believer in him. I think he'll be okay. The team around him is built pretty good, so that's gonna like help him out. He don't gotta go and win games. I don't know if we've seen him consistently do that, like go and like, all right, if we need this one, yeah, he gonna get it. We haven't seen that. Like we seen Lamar Jackson put that whole Ravens team on his back, and of course they got a good defense, but like literally their offense is him, like 1,000-yard rushing here, 1,000-yard rushing there, like so. And this whole talk of like the league catching up to him or whatever, unless you just gonna have, a whole bunch of guys running like 4.3s and being able to like get him down, like I don't see that happen. I think their offensive coordinators did hear the talk in the offseason about their offense being predictable. So I think they're gonna like switch some things up. They got more weapons over there. Hopefully they're able to use them and use them right, because that'd be the thing with them. But I do think they're going to be good. And I still think Pittsburgh is where they was at last year. I think that carryover is going to be like the next year. I think they're going to be like a 9-18 because Mike Tomlin ain't never had a losing season. So,
Prentice, AFC North takes.
Cleveland. I think I'm interested to see Lamar come back from his COVID situation from last year. How he bounced back, and I think he on a contract year too. But I think Cleveland just more rounded. They can run the ball. They can run on anybody, and defensively they're a good defensive team. I think they added Clowney on the other side of Garrett. So I think they're gonna be able to rush the passer, and they're good on the back end. So.
So DJ, you had Baltimore, right?
So what?
DJ, you had Baltimore, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with Cleveland.
Shane.
Yeah, man, I got to go with Cleveland too, just for pretty much the reasons you guys said. They're just so balanced. That's just like the balance for me. Like the question with Baltimore is, and I'm not. You keep, like DJ said, you keep hearing this thing about the league's caught up to him, this, that, and the other. I don't necessarily buy that, but I am a bit concerned about the weapons Lamar has around him. They drafted Bateman, who they loved. He's out. He's out for at least the first month. I mean, what receivers do they really have? I mean, his best receiver is probably Mark Andrews, tight end. who
Really
they just
got Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown was terrible last year. I mean, they just gave Mark Andrews a huge contract, and it's well deserved. Like him and Lamar have great, that's a great combo right there. But I don't know. I mean, Baltimore's defense is solid. I think Baltimore's a playoff team, but I think they'll kind of be fighting for a wild card. This is a tough division. Like even though I'm not like Pittsburgh is a very good roster, but like they're going to struggle at the quarterback position, obviously. But they're still going to be a tough team to beat. So, like, I don't, that's like, I would not be shocked if Baltimore misses the playoffs. I really wouldn't. It's a brutal division, and Lamar just has a lack of weapons that I trust. And I mean, the fact that like we're even having this conversation, it just talks about how good he is because he can win you games alone, just off of what he does. Like he basically won that playoff game last year against Tennessee by himself. It's Cleveland to me though, man. I think Cleveland's a legitimate Super Bowl contender. That's such a good roster. It's so balanced. It's, that's a team that you just don't want to play in January. And if Mayfield can, and I'm not some big Mayfield fan, but I don't think he's nearly as bad as Mike does. I think I don't think he's a guy that doesn't have to be great. He does not have to be great for them to be, a division winner at least. He's got to be great for them to get past the Buffalo or a Kansas City. We know that, but like I feel pretty strongly at this point that that Cleveland's the division winner there.
I'm going with Baltimore. I do not believe in Cleveland. They are a complete team, but if Chubb go down. That's a big deal. I don't believe in Baker Mayfield, and I think the Ravens will make the necessary adjustments to succeed. Now they just lost Justice Hill, but they just picked up Le'Veon Bell. Now I'm not saying I'm riding the Le'Veon Bell train or anything like that, but with Gus Edwards, they've mostly had a timeshare in the backfield. I don't know what shape Le'Veon Bell is in, and the first time we're gonna see it is gonna be in real gameplay. So I don't know. I'm not saying that he's gonna be Le'Veon Bell that we all know and love 4 or 5 years ago. But I mean they got somebody. They got some help. They tried to get somebody. Lamar gonna do his thing. He's running for another 1,000 this year. And I just think that I trust Lamar. If we're not talking playoffs right now, we're talking regular season. Lamar's known for not getting it done in the playoffs, but the regular season, Lamar Jackson, like we still haven't seen the best of this dude. So that's who I'm rocking with. Baltimore Ravens. We go with that. From there, I want to hear y'all Super Bowl matchups. We heard division winners, so I won't get into wild card too much. I want to hear your Super Bowl matchups. I want to hear your Super Bowl winner. DJ, I'm gonna kick it off with you.
And it's tough. I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna pick a rematch, but I'm gonna pick the Chiefs to win it.
I love it.
Yeah, there we go.
PJ, who you got?
I was gonna say I'm gonna go right after him. I'm gonna do the same thing. I got the rematch, and I got the Chiefs getting it this year.
Shane?
I got Buffalo beating the Rams.
Okay, so are the Rams your top seed in the NFC?
No, I think Tampa is.
So the Rams go on the road and beat them, or they done before they see them? Tampa Bay loses at home, is what you're saying, though. Tampa Bay will lose at home.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, I respect it. That's bold.
Who you got, Mike? Who you got?
Me, I got Kansas City over Green Bay. I think that was my pick last year too. Y'all know I'm on record saying that Kansas City was gonna win 3 out of 4. So they 1-1 right now. So I got to ride them for the next 2 years, and I'm still confident in that. So, but I got the bad man in his last stand taking the green team to the promised land, but they're gonna come up short.
Yeah, I went a little bit further, went through the playoffs. I got Tampa 1, Rams 2.
Just give us the Super Bowl.
You
I
want
don't
the
need your
Super Bowl?
seat.
Okay.
Just give us the Super
You
Bowl.
want to hear your Super Bowl picks, my guy?
I got
You say
I
the
got
Bears.
Buffalo.
Swear to God,
No,
I'm trying to good.
I got Buffalo and the Rams too, but I got the Rams winning.
There you have it. And I'm sure Schwab will post his picks on goodifitgoes.com.
Yeah, there you
The rest
go.
of us will get our picks in as well for our path to the Super Bowl. But for time's sake, we just wanted to give y'all our Super Bowl picks. We're almost at 2 hours. And as our hostess with the mostest, I'm on Corona premiums right now because I play it back on keto. So shout out Corona. We need that sponsorship. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm glad it was a good show tonight. We almost at 2 hours though. You know, we usually say the 2 hours for the Super Show, so we gonna count this as a Super Show too. NFL is back, y'all. We gotta taste. Hey, Prentice threw something in the chat that was some of the realest shit I read in 2021. He said Wisconsin just did jump around, and like that shit was real. That shit was intense. Like I don't think I even seen like coronavirus bouncing all over that bitch. But college football was back, goddammit. So who cared? Like. I got to see the Iowa children wave. I almost shed a tear. You know what I'm saying? Like I almost shed a tear.
The only jump around that actually happened in that stadium was punt after fucking punt after punt. that was
Hey,
I said that too. I said, damn, that shit was hype. I was like, but this game is slow as hell.
Right.
Oh man. But college football.
You ever see a game both teams deserve to lose? It was that one. And by God, what a terrible pick that was by Graham Mertz.
That was pathetic.
Yeah. So we back. We in football season mode, y'all. Tune in to my Good If It Goes Jam. Me and DJ, y'all know what's going on. And then Thursday, me and Shane we gonna win y'all some money. We are
going to give our brief thoughts on every single game with the spread for week 1 and even a couple bonus college picks.
Yeah, and we'll probably have some NFL props for y'all too. I'm really trying to hit these anytime touchdown scores this year, man. We'll have a couple parlays for y'all, man. We're gonna get paid this season, man. I'm telling y'all, get with me. I gave y'all Ole Miss. I told y'all put your fucking house up on Ole Miss. And they blew the shit out the water, man. Fuck with me, and we're gonna get y'all paid, man.
And speaking of getting paid,
we still got the
this year. Tune into the Quan Show tomorrow on Bets TV.
Yeah, tune into the Quan Show. Shout out to Quan. Invest in Quan 2021.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Very soon, coming soon too. I'm gonna get production of a show with DJ and PJ. You know what I'm saying? We gonna call it. You know the reason. You know what's going on. We touched on it a little bit today, but we didn't get too far into it. But we're going to get a show going with Pizza, because y'all know what's really going on, but we're going to let them tell y'all what's going on. So more to come. Good if it goes. Everybody watching, thank you. Be well. We out of here.